Yo, what's good? Big Z here. I finally got my custom acoustic panels in, so these videos should sound a lot better now. But anyway, today I wanted to talk about if you should self-release your music or release it on a record label. So let's compare two of my own songs. So one of my songs called Fool for You, I self-released, and another one of my songs called This Place Unknown, I released on a record label called Strange Fruits. And I'm going to tell you exactly how much money I've made off both those releases so you can compare the two. Fool for You, the self release, has made a little over $18,000 total, and This Place Unknown has made over $19,000. But because This Place Unknown was released on a record label, there are some other costs involved. So there's the cost for the artwork, the promotion, the mastering. Because they're a Dutch label, the accounting is in euros, but altogether they took out around 950 euros for those costs, which is like 1100 US dollars. And as for the royalty split with the label, I actually struck a really good deal with them for that song, so I was getting about 40% of the royalties. Normally you get around 30%, but for that track I had 40%. So if you subtract the cost for the artwork and promotion and everything, and then subtract my cut of the royalties, you end up with $7,308. So compare that with the self-release Fool for You, which is made around $18,000, which I get 100% of. Now, this is before any agreement you have with the singer of the track. So if you agree to give a singer like 30% of your royalties, then they're getting a cut of that too. But obviously, you're getting a way bigger piece of the pie when you self-release your music. But that only helps if the song does well. If you self-release a song and it doesn't get any momentum at all, then that's not worth it. If you can release on a record label and get 5 times more streams, but only make 30% the amount of money, then it's still a no-brainer to go with the record label. But it's not quite that simple. Not all streams are created equal. Let's compare that same track, Fool for You, with another song I released on Strange Fruits called What a Man Gotta Do. This will be a good comparison because they pretty much have the same exact amount of streams. But the metric I want to look at in this case is Spotify saves. This is how many times a person is just listening to your song and saves it to their library or adds it to one of their playlists. So Fool for You has 3.9 million streams and about 121,000 saves, while What a Man Gotta Do, the song released on the record label, has 3.8 million streams, but only 56,000 saves. So less than half the amount of saves. So why is that? Well, a lot of indie record labels can get you on some big third party meaning not owned by Spotify, third party playlists. Those playlists can get you a lot of streams, but they might not be a good fit for your song. And this is a perfect example of this. So it got the same amount of streams, but half the amount of people saved it. So the quality of those streams wasn't as good. If you self-release a track and it grows more organically and maybe gets on some Spotify-owned playlists, then the quality of those streams is going to be higher and you're going to get more saves. But that's all contingent on the fact if the song does well and people like the song enough to even listen to it. So it goes to show you the quality of the music should be the main focus. So let's go through some of the big pros and cons here. My favorite part about releasing on a record label is I don't have to do anything once I'm finished with the song. They handle the artwork, promotion, distribution. They can send it out to DJs to play in their radio shows. They can get you placement on different Spotify playlists and YouTube networks. And underratedly, what I think is one of the best parts of what a record label does is the accounting and distribution of the royalties to the different collaborators. If you don't set up a self-release the right way, you're going to have to do the accounting yourself and send out those royalties every quarter or so to the other people that were involved forever. But thankfully, there are services like DistroKid now that can do that for you. So it kind of takes that out of the equation. So all those upsides obviously come with a cost. Most labels take around 70% of the royalties, and that's after whatever cost they want to add in for promotion and branding and artwork and everything. And their accounting can be pretty shady when it comes to those costs. Like you never really know what they spent their $1,000 promotional budget on when it says that in a spreadsheet. And one of my least favorite parts of releasing with the record label is they control the branding and the artwork. So if you really hate the artwork that a label came up with for your track, then there's really not much you can do about it. You just gotta roll with it. And that's gonna be your artwork for the song. Now, the pros and cons for a self-release are pretty much the exact opposite of that. Obviously, you get 100% of those royalties minus whatever you've agreed to pay the singer or other producers you've worked with. And I like to have full control over the artwork and branding and be able to choose what graphic designer I want to work with for the artwork. And underratedly, a big part of a self-release is that you can choose the release date. Sometimes when you come out with a song on a label, they'll just give you a release date like 6 months from now because they have so much music to release. That kind of sucks. With a self-release, you can choose exactly when and how your music is released. Then there's the other side of the coin. So with a self-release, you have to do all the promotion yourself. You're going to be paying for the artwork or whatever promotional costs there are up front. With a record label, you're still paying for those costs, but they're getting taken from the royalties. So you're not actually putting up money up front for those costs. And then you have to control the accounting and figure out how you want to distribute royalties to other collaborators. So at the end of the day, it really comes down to control. Do you want to have all of the control and do a lot of extra work? Or do you want virtually no work for yourself involved, but you give up a lot of that control? There's no right or wrong answer here. I go back and forth on it myself. But there are a lot of good tools these days to self-release music that weren't available even 5-10 years ago. So I kind of question if traditional record labels will even exist in like 20 years from now. Let me know what you think about the future of record labels down below, because I think it's a pretty interesting topic. There are just so many services and tools for us creators to use these days that make it a little more pointless each year to use a record label. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully the sound was a lot better in this video in the previous few videos. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Peace. Wishing I could go on.